difference between static and dynamic analysis. If you have not watched the part 1 and 2, please do watch, then watch the part 3 so that you will have a complete idea on this. Part 1 and part 2 link in the description area. The next one, we are going to understand what is the difference between static and dynamic analysis. So in here, in the static analysis, without execution, you are going to perform it like in your PE studio. They will not execute it, but they are going to they are going to check what kind of files, what is the extension, what is the size of that RAM, what is the size of that file, what kind of hash value they have. Those are coming under the static analysis. In dynamic analysis, what is happening? Analysis during execution. So what they will do? They will run that application, and they will perform what kind of activity is happening in the endpoint machine. They need to check it. In the resource, there is no much resources required. Just you need to install an application. Then you are going to perform your static analysis. After that, high resource uses. So here you want heavy resources like your RAM, like your storage, like your system requirement. All those things will be your expensive part. You are going to invest on that so that you can do the dynamic analysis, right? It is very fast because you just need to run that application, or you have to move that exe file into that application so that it will show you. In this in the another part, it is very slower because you need to understand each and everything in the granular level. What kind of performance it is happening, what kind of behavior it is happening, those are it is going to capture in the dynamic analysis part. Limited detection capabilities. So here you are going to get only the metadata, like what is the file name, what is the size, what is the path, where it is going to store, what kind of hash value it has. All those things will coming under your static analysis part, right? But when it will come to your dynamic analysis, it is very sophisticated threat. What kind of performance it is going to do in the endpoint machine, you doesn't know. You have to find it out. There is no behavior inside. You are not going to get any kind of behavior on the static analysis. So once you will run, then only you will can understand what is the behavior of that exe file. So you are not going to execute it in the static analysis, but here you are going to execute it. You are going to run it. Then only you will understand what is happening. And this is very limited encryption, because you don't know what encryption they have used and anything. You are not going to do it. Just you are seeing the application, or you are seeing the malware, and you are understanding what is happening on that. In the here, what is happening? Whatever they have encrypted those files, it will decrypt and it will run it, right? So that time you need to understand what kind of encryption they have used, what kind of decryption they have used. Those are things you are going to get it. And very easy to escape here. But in the dynamic analysis, it's very harder because they are performing in the endpoint machine, right? So it is evident that you can understand what kind of activities they are doing it here. So it is completely rely on the signature. Consider this is your static analysis lab, and this is your malware. You put it in that, and it will show you the hash value. And this hash value, in how many antivirus companies they have blocked it, how many antivirus companies they have not detected it, each and everything it will show here. But here you are not going to understand the signature part, because the signature detection, it is the part of your static analysis part. Okay. So you are not going to execute in the endpoint machine, and no dynamic code analysis, but here you are going to perform or you are going to execute that file or execute that code. Then it will perform the behavior in the endpoint machine, and that you are going to capture, and that you are going to analyze it. So those are sandbox environment, right? In the sandbox environment, what is happening? It is not required any sandbox. Just this is your static analysis application. Consider your PE studio, and here you just have to insert that file, malware file, into that, so that it will give you all the informations. But here entire sandbox environment is required. So like as I have explained earlier, so how to set up your lab. Next one, the faster result. You have to just push that file into the PE studio, immediately it will show each and everything. So it max to max, it go up to 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that. If it is in the worst case in the heavy file, it will go to 5 minutes, not more than that. Not more than that. You can understand the entire static analysis of the malware in the 5 minutes. But here you have to sit and you have to do it each and everything. It may go up to 30 minutes, it may go up to your 3 days to 4 days to based on the attack happened, based on the malware. It is completely unexpected. Okay, it is taking longer time as compared to that. So in static analysis, here it is going to each and every antivirus, and it will check all the antivirus has values, and it will give you a result. So consider there are 90 antivirus company, and out of 90 antivirus company, consider 78 antivirus company, they told that it is malicious, and some of the are telling it is an observation, and some of the things are no, it is not detected. So here you can understand how many antivirus company they have detected it is a malware value. Okay, so here better to unknown the threats. So consider here, if you know that virus, if you know that file is a virus, then you can tell that yes, it is a virus because the hash value is this one, and this one. And if you doesn't know whether it is a virus or not, how you are going to detect it? You are going to perform a dynamic analysis, right? On the dynamic analysis, you can understand what kind of behavior it is happening. Here you are going to get. After that, in the false positive, very few false positive, because each and everything is the metadata, based on the metadata. But here it could be anything, because you doesn't know what kind of behavior it is happening, whether it is malicious or it is legitimate. That you are not going to sure it unless and until if you are going to validate it. So in the simple preservation of the original samples, it is not going to change the value. It is not going to change the exe file, because we are not performing any kind of activity on that. Just we are analyzing the metadata. Overall, out of that, we are going to understand what kind of activity or what kind of hash value, what kind of performance it is giving from the endpoint machine. But here, you are executing that file, right? After execution, what is happening, that you are going to understand it. In the minimal user interaction, very minimal user interaction is required, because you are going to just insert that file into the PE Studio and it will give you everything. But here you need to sit and understand what kind of behavior it is happening. It may miss the complex behavior because it is a static analysis. It doesn't know how to understand the behavior unless and until if you run it. If you run it, then only you can understand what kind of behavior it is happening, whether it is complex, whether it is simple, whether it is legitimate, whether it is malicious. Those are everything you will get it here. It does not consider the runtime context, because you are not going to run it, right, in the static analysis. That's why you are not going to do it. But when it comes to the dynamic analysis, because you are executing it, then only you can understand what is happening here. In the post analysis, the affected are very limited, because it is not going to affect the endpoint machine, because only that file you are just understanding the external behavior. But when it comes to the executing that file, because it may happen anything, that's why we are doing it in the sandbox environment, right? So this one you need to understand. So what is the most industry standard applications you are using, or what industry standard tools are using for the static malware analysis? This is one of the most tool used in the malware analysis, that is called PE Studio. So here you can see in the PE Studio what kind of behaviors or not behaviors, what kind of the metadata it is giving out of that system, out of that exe files. Each and everything it is showing here, right? Like your any kind of antivirus integrations is there, not any kind of what kind of the file name, what is the hash value, what is the IP address of that exe file is communicating to, what kind of domains they are into, and what kind of the file header data. Each and everything related to your metadata of that application or of that exe file, that you are going to understand here. But when it comes to your Yara role, okay, this is the second most used in the static analysis. Consider your infrastructure, there are 100 systems are there, okay? Out of 100 systems, one system you have taken out and you are doing the performance, and you are doing static analysis and malware analysis, and after static analysis and dynamic analysis, and after dynamic analysis you found that there is a particular keyword, it is present. After that, on top of that keyword, you are going to run that keyword in your entire infrastructure with the help of Yara rule key. What kind of systems are affected, or what kind of entire infrastructure systems have this keyword, that you are going to perform it with the help of Yara rule. There are much more static analysis tools are there, but mostly you are using these two for your static analysis. So if you want to do, I will create another video for the tools related to your static malware analysis. Now you are going to understand what kind of dynamic analysis. So in your proc mode, what is happening? This is one of the most commonly used dynamic analysis. So what will happen? Consider this is your endpoint system. Okay, so here everything is simple, right? So as like a production environment. Okay, consider this is your product environment. So this is a file. Here what I will do, I will run proc mode and I will start recording what kind of performance is happening or what kind of behavioral is changing. Each and everything it will save here. So for what I will do, this is your malware file. Okay, this is your malware file. I will send it to endpoint machine and I will run it. But before run it, I will start the recording. I will perform it. After some time, I will stop the recording. In between that, what are the changes happened? That I am going to observe it. That is called your dynamic analysis. So here, most of the peoples are using this part, proc mode, right? So in the process monitor, you are going to understand what is the system activity monitoring, what is the real-time activity it is happening, what kind of internet IP address it is communicating from that endpoint machine, if any C2C server are there, right? So what kind of C2C server are there, what is the IP address, each and everything, any kind of registry changes, it is going to save it. So that kind of powerful application it is in the proc mode. In the sandbox, what will happen? Consider you don't want any kind of proc mode or any kind of dynamic analysis. Just you need to understand what is happening in the endpoint machine. Okay, consider this is your sandbox environment, as like I have explained in the lab setup. You have to run that application only. Then you need to see what is happening in the endpoint machine. Okay, so there are some automation tools are there like any run. Okay, so there is a sandbox environment. You just need to insert that file into that and it will give you an entire report what is happening. Okay, static analysis report and dynamic analysis report, both it will give it. There you can understand it. Workserf in the sense, consider again this is the file, this is the exe file or this is your malware file. Okay, before giving into the endpoint machine, I will turn on the void suck. Then I will execute that file. I will wait for some time. Then I will stop the recording in the voice suck. In between that, what happened after executing this file? Here you are going to capture it. Then you are going to understand what kind of malware and what kind of activity is going on that. Thanks for watching the part 3. To complete this episode, please do watch the part 4. The malwares from the granular level, but it is high to intermediate level. Okay, when you are studying from the open source, while researching about this solution, you can understand another 5 to 6 more content on that. Whatever I have worked in the industry, mostly the freshers are getting who are into the malware analysis with the proper certification and proper knowledge. They are getting it. If you found this video is informative, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel for cybersecurity and technology related videos. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Thanks for watching till the end. I really do appreciate your time and effort you have given on this.